back to another live Q&A. So I see a couple of people already in the house. Let me know down in the comment or down in the chat if you can hear me, if you can see me, how everything's going. And make sure that you throw your questions down in there. I plan on being here for probably about 20, 30 minutes, but it's all going to depend on how many questions we get. So load them up. And just keep in mind that although, yes, this is uh, Keith Wheeler Books and we talk about self publishing and all things around self publishing, you can ask questions that are not self-publishing related, favorite color, whatever you want to know, whatever you want to know about me. I can't promise I'll answer them all, but I will do my best. So let me get a quick drink of water and we'll get started. I know I got here a couple minutes early. So Patricia here from St. Louis. Glad you can hear me and see me fine. Let me know if you have any questions. We got quite a few questions on in the Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, you can go to Facebook, and the group is Self-Publishing Today. Make sure that you answer all three questions. They're not trick questions. There's a question that says, something along the lines of, do you subscribe to Keith Wheeler Books? If your answer is no, that's fine. You'll still be able to get into the group. But if you don't answer those three questions, and you'll be surprised the number of people that don't answer all three questions, then you won't get accepted into the group. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Q4. Holidays are really starting to, creep up. Um, if you, Hanukkah's already started, so happy Hanukkah to those people that celebrate that. But yeah, I'm really excited. The weather here in Missouri has been a little iffy. It's been 40s one day and 70s the next. So, but Patricia, you get that because I'm sure St. Louis isn't any different. All right, let's see what Patricia has to say. In a recent webinar, a self-published author said she does not print both paperback and hardcover, claims they compete against each other. What are your thoughts? Um, I don't look at them as competing against each other because the people that want hardcover books. And so it's not really that much of competition. There's just like people who want audiobooks. So, your audiobooks aren't in competition with your hardcovers or your paperbacks or your ebooks. Um, Everybody consumes their content differently. And so your best bet is to be able to give them as close to exactly what they want as possible. Now, that doesn't mean that people who like hardcovers and preferred hardcovers, if you don't have one, won't buy your book. But they're it's not exactly what they're looking for. And so my the way I run my business is I provide every possible format within reason. I mean, I don't have most of the time I don't have multiple trim sizes of the same book or anything like that, except for maybe in my some of my no content and low content books. But um, in general, your hardcover is not going to compete with your paperback. Again, it's two options that they can choose from. And matter of fact, they actually can help complement each other because when someone's, if let's say your paperback is normally 14.95, some potential customers may be turned off by that price point. But when they see it in comparison with your hardcover, which is 34.95 or something like that, now that 14.95 seems a lot more doable. So it actually can help improve your chances of getting sales. So I'd have to disagree with that particular self-published author. Now, that said, I don't run ads to both. So if you're running ads to both, then that's not the most cost-effective way to use your um, finances. But even then, I wouldn't say they go against each other. They compete as long as you're running ads to them in different types. So, category ads for one, keyword ads for another, or something like that. So, Yeah, but in general, no, I they do not compete against each other. Great question, by the way. Great question. That's actually a question I haven't really gotten before. I haven't heard a lot of people with that philosophy, and I'm usually the first one to be able to argue both sides of something. But I can't think of any time when having a different, an alternate option for your consumer is a bad thing, with the exception of it when you get to the point where you have too many options. And that usually doesn't come in the way of format. That usually comes in the way of, like, if you're doing, when you do no content, low content books, I've seen people who have like the same cover, but in like 10 different colors. That can be overwhelming. And then those can compete against each other. And actually, just in the sheer volume of options can deter customers, and then they don't end up buying any. But as far as the format of your book, no. Um, Hardcovers, I've not found in any way, shape, or form compete against the paperbacks or ebooks for that matter. Easy Graphics, Andy is in the house. Hey, buddy. Glad to have you here. Okay, Patricia's got another great question. Which format do you advertise to? Depending on the type of advertising you're doing on Amazon ads, some allow you to select multiple formats, others only have you select one. If I'm only allowed to select one, I just run it to the ebook. But before I run ads, I double check my Amazon sales page and make sure that all the different formats are all collectively on that same page, so they can just, yeah, when they click on the ad, they'll go to the ebook, but they can quickly click on the print version, the paperback or the hardcover or the audio if that's what they want. So ebook is usually my go-to. Obviously, it also depends on what format you have available. If you're doing, again, like journals or something like that, you may only have one version available, and that makes it a lot easier to decide which one to run your ads to. But um, if I'm only allowed to select one based on the type of ad I'm running, then I will go for the ebook. Just because when someone sees your ad, they're also going to see the price, and so sending it to the ebook shows with within most reason the lowest price point, so that removes that immediate sticker shock that someone might have if they see your ad and then they see 14.95. So if they see 2.99, they're a lot more likely to click on it. So I usually send it to my ebook. Let's see. John Wasser's in the house. The printed can be double the actual measurable blood alcohol level. What? And a couple of shirts based on. I must have missed the first part. Let's scroll up and see what John had to say. There we go. Let's see. All right, John, I am in no way, shape, or form following you. All right, let's see if there's any other questions in here. Okay, there we go, John. Yeah, I didn't catch your other part, but this question I understand. Who prints your hardcover? I like Lulu, but have not yet tried their hardback. But I have done their cool bound. Yeah, the coil bound, absolutely. For my hardcovers, uh, generally speaking, I've gone with Lulu. As of late, I have been trying out the KDP hardcovers. I will be doing a video in the not so distant future, um, where I'm comparing the hardcover of the same book from both KDP as well as Lulu just to see how they compare apples to apples for the same book. Um, but I've done hardcovers with Barnes and Noble. They come out really nice. Um, Ingram Spark does an amazing job, but typically my hardcovers are mostly done through Lulu. Once I see the side by side comparison between the KDP hardcover and Lulu, I might just for sheer um, ease of use, I might do more with KDP. Um, but if I'm doing, like, for example, like what you said, coil bound, if I'm doing coil bound with Lulu, then and I'm going to do a hardcover, I'll probably do it through Lulu as well instead of having it on multiple platforms. It just makes things easier. You're already in the same dashboard. I absolutely love the quality of the paper. I do like that Lulu offers the ability to have that thicker 80-pound paper, which really makes a difference depending on what type of book you're doing. Especially if you're doing books that are more either going to be like drawn on, colored on, or books for kids. That thicker, almost laminated type paper, a little waxy on it. Um, that quality is so much better than even a 60-pound test that you get from KDP or Barnes and Noble and places like that. So um, Lulu's definitely a good place to go for your hardcovers. Yeah, John. John Wasser says he didn't know that KDP had hardcovers. Right now, it's still in beta, so not everybody has access to it, but it's opened up quite a bit. For a while, it was in beta for months, maybe even a year, when I didn't have access to it. But um, I know other content creators did have access to it because I've seen videos and I've talked to them. And so, yeah, I recently got it probably a couple months ago, maybe about 2 months ago. And so it's opening up slowly but surely to other people. But yeah, they're hardcover. I've got a video here on the channel where I one of the viewers, Judy Shearwaters, sent in. I actually think I have it. Yes, I do. I have it right here. Let me just move my little monkey out of the way. All right, this right here. Let's see if I can do it without getting too much light on it. This hardcover was done by by KDP, so it's good quality. I mean, it's comparable to something you would see in the bookstore. So I just want to see a side by side comparison of the same book being printed hardcover from Lulu and KDP, just so I can see what differences there are. Um, Whether it's on the interior, I'm pretty sure I know what the difference is going to be because, like I said, I know the page um, weight that they have, and so when I do, I've already printed them. I just haven't gotten them in the mail yet. Um, but when I made sure that I did the same exact. I mean, everything from the finish to the thickness of the paper and everything else. I made sure I did exactly the same. So I am comparing apples to apples. So the only thing that should be different is the quality, if there's a difference at all. And then if there's not, then it's really going to come down to the price point. What's going to be the most profitable for us. Whether it's going to be Lulu or it's going to be KDP. So we'll have to see that when they come in. Okay, Patricia asks, "Do you create A plus content for your website?" Um, for my website, no. For my books, some of them. Um, I have found there are definitely books and genres where A plus content is works better and is a better use of your time because A plus content, if you're going to do it and you're going to do it correctly, um, can take some time, and maybe even some money if you're going to hire people to do different maybe images for you and things like that. So, um, it can be an investment both in time and money, but it doesn't have to be a lot. So children's books are a great niche, a great genre to um, use A plus content. It's a great way to try to make your book stand out amongst the crowd, and especially in children's books, it's almost to the point where if you don't, because so many children's book authors are using A plus content, it's almost like you're at a disadvantage if you don't. So it's not even really doing it to get ahead. It's more like doing it to you know, to be equal to the others. Other areas are if you have a series, um, regardless of the genre, it's a great way to show on on one page. So if they go to book one, they can see that you've got 5 books in that series. Um, and you can do images from the book if there's images in it. You can do one thing that I like to do, especially for my puzzle books, is I like to do a comparison chart. So it's I think you're allowed to have up to 6 different books listed, and you can have up to 10 line items, and it basically just has a check mark next to the ones that are included in each of them. So, like if you're doing puzzle books or something like that, you can show the differences in your puzzle books, like the types of puzzles that are in there or something like that using A plus content. So yeah, I've definitely used A plus content on different, like I said, different books in different genres. Unfortunately, A plus content, from what I understand, is not available everywhere. But you know Amazon, when they test things out here in the US, and then once everything is running as smoothly as possible, then they start slowly launching it in other marketplaces. So I don't think it's something that's only going to be here in the States. It's just a matter of time before it gets sent out to everyone else. So um, a good thing that you could do is, if you're outside of the US and what types of books or what books you have that you want to do A plus content. I have videos on here on the channel where and you can Google up if you want dimensions and stuff like that. So you can actually try to get ahead of the curve and start getting those files ready. The different sized images or whatever the text, so that way when you do get approved or when it does come to your marketplace, you're already ahead of the game, and yours will be one of the first ones out there, which will really make it stand out amongst the rest. So, we know just from working with Amazon over the years that after the US, it usually goes to Canada, then the UK. And so, we know kind of Amazon has a bit of a pattern as far as where they put things out next. And so, um, if you're in one of those, if you're in Canada, if you're in UK and you want to, get ahead of things, then you might want to start working on your A plus files, or at least looking into the different possibilities within A plus content. And not to jump too far off that topic, but the same thing goes for something like Amazon Ignite. I know Amazon Ignite is also um, only in the US right now, but if you want to get into the high demand of digital products, you don't just have to do it for Amazon Ignite. You can, even if you're outside the US, you can still create them and put it up on Teachers Pay Teachers, or an Etsy shop, or Gumroad, or all these other platforms where you can sell digital products. So don't too many times I've seen people use the excuse that it's not available in my country to get them to not do something. And I challenge you to kind of change the way you think of things. Instead of letting that be a stumbling block, use that as motivation to find other avenues. Because just like with self-publishing books, you really don't want to be on just one platform anyway. And so, like for example, the ones that I have on Amazon Ignite, I have on Teachers Pay Teachers. I have on a Gumroad page. I've got it in different on different marketplaces, again, so all my eggs aren't in one basket. And then If it gets opened up in your country on Amazon Ignite, then hey, that's one more platform you can put it up on, and you already have the files ready. One thing that a lot of people don't realize is, you know, and I think I've talked about this before, but with things like puzzle books and even line journals, you can't create an ebook for it, but you can still sell a digital copy of it. So you can sell digital copies of puzzles or puzzle books on, these other platforms that allow for digital files. So don't just be limited to just the paperback version or the hardcover or the spiral bound. Give yourself the option of digital files as well, and just find the platforms that can host it. And then, you know, you can do it through directly from your website, where people go to your website and they can order it, and then you're getting pretty much 100% profits. You can charge whatever you want because it's your website. And, let's say you charge, 2.99 for, a 100-page, you know, PDF of these, puzzles. That's 100% profit right there. And they can just, go to your website, sign up. So you get an email address because you need an email address to mail it to. And then they get it. And then that's also now an email address that you can promote to later when you have new books out, new print books, new, print files or whatever. Okay, I know we don't talk too much about merch, but John Wasser says that he did a comparison of T-shirts between Merch by Amazon and Printful, and Printful was a better quality. You're not the first one to tell me that. That doesn't really surprise me. Um, I've worked with Printful before. I've got a couple cups and stuff like that through them, and yeah, their quality is pretty good. So that is good to know. And also let me know if you would like. I know this is, Keith Wheeler Books, but if you'd like me to do some videos on merch and stuff like that, let me know as well. What I might do is I might do, since it is a little bit off topic from the general topic of the channel. What I might do is do that for channel members. So going into 2022, I'm planning on revamping the channel membership here on the channel. Um, and so, any ideas that you have on things that you might like to see for those people that pay for the channel membership, let me know. All right, easy graphics. Glad to have you here, buddy. Have a wonderful day. Let's see. Patricia says, for children's books, would you recommend one or two economical review sites to get reviews for a picture book? Um, it's for picture books, you definitely want to get reviews. I mean, you want reviews for any book, right? But for picture books, it's really important. One of the most important things I've found with any kind of launch and with any type of book is to try to get those reviews as early as possible. So your best bet, honestly, would be to get some beta readers. Um, I mean, you can. I mean, you can do review sites. I assume you mean by economical, you mean ones that you pay. I'm always reluctant to sites that you pay for. Um, because you need to make sure it's all on how they word things for their site, because it according to Amazon and pretty much every other marketplace, you cannot pay for reviews. So it needs to be clear in their terms of service of the site that you're using that you're not paying for the review. Kirkus Review is a great example of that. Kirkus, you pay, and it's well known, well established in the industry. You're not paying for the review, you're paying for the time to have a reviewer read your book. Okay. So it's different on how, and again, it all comes down to the verbiage. So you definitely want um, to keep that in mind and be very, very careful when you're paying for any type of review. Um, there is a place I've talked about, I think on the last live, um, and it is Get Get Book Review. I forget it every time. Um, it's another author created it, um, and it's completely on the up and up with Amazon because you're not paying for the review. You're paying to be part. It's a monthly rate. You're paying to be part of a community of authors. Okay, and in that community of authors, you can list your book and you do reviews. And she has gone in, that her name's Debbie, has gone in, and the way it's designed is you cannot, it will not let you review a book of someone that reviewed your book. So, for example, if I reviewed your book and now you won't even see any of my books listed in your books to read and review. So it prevents that idea of review swapping, which is completely against Amazon's terms of service. So it is a great site to go to. You get tokens based on the books, the length of the book that you've read and reviewed, um, and then you can use those tokens to um, you know put another book up or something like that to for getting reviews. You can allow uh, people you include a link to your Amazon page so people actually hopefully download the book, the ebook version, so it'll end up being a verified review. If they do that, then they get more tokens, because they've actually paid money, and so uh, they get extra tokens for that. Um, so they get rewarded for spending their hard-earned money to buy your book outright, and vice versa. So it's a really really good site, um, and I don't know why I never remember the name of it. I want to say it's Get Book Review. Yep. Get Get Books Reviewed. Um, and actually, if you go to, uh, I know I've got one on here. We'll do K Wheeler Books. I know I've got a pretty link for it just because it makes it so much easier. Um, if you just go to my site than typing everything out. But um, let's see. And uh, removing, you're getting a look behind the curtain real quick. First of all, getting a look behind the curtain of how completely forgetful I am. Okay, so it's if you go to kwheelerbooks.com/get reviewed, it will take you to that page, to that site. Really great site. I think it's like $10 a month. But I know when you first sign up, matter of fact, if you sign up through that link, um, then you'll get, I think you get like 2,000 tokens or something like that, for free. So you can try it out without even having to pay X amount of dollars a month. So um, pretty good, pretty good. Um, let's see. Okay, we've got Jacqueline in the house. I have a niece named Jacqueline. I write poetry, but I want pictures in my books. KDP doesn't provide this option on white paper, black ink. What would um you can put pictures inside your black and white books. I mean, the images will show black and white, but you can absolutely. My son writes poetry. He's got a couple poetry books out. His has images in it, so I don't know exactly what message you got that made you think that you can't include images. But you absolutely can put pictures inside your KDP print books, whether they're black and white or not. I mean, in fact, that's the whole point of black and white. Um, it's referring to the color of the images. So just by that whole definition, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to put pictures inside your paperback. So if I'm understanding your your question, then then yeah, this should not be an issue. So let me know what error message you're getting, or what kind of message at all that makes you think that you can't use pictures. Now I will say it may be telling you that your pictures are the resolution's too low. Um, it may say that it's below. They really want it to be, for print versions. They really want it to be 300 DPI. I will tell you, with the exception of your cover, especially if you're doing black and white, you can probably get away with. You can definitely get away with 200 DPI or more. If you're doing just an ebook version, then you can get away with 72 DPI. So, and that's just dots per inch. That's just the resolution of it. So I hope that helps, Jacqueline. Okay, so John asks, so I can sell my ebooks on Etsy. Um, I have also been thinking of selling books on my own website, which is on Weebly, right? Which just opened up for payments from Stripe and PayPal. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so you can sell you can sell the files on Etsy, assuming that you're not in KDP Select. If your book is enrolled in KDP Select, that is an exclusivity with Amazon for your digital file for the ebook format. So you'd have to wait until that 90-day window is up. Make sure that you deselect that box, because it will auto renew every 90 days unless you deselect it. But other than that, yeah, you can have the digital version of your book, the EPUB, the PDF, whatever, up on your website, up on Etsy, wherever you want. And that's awesome. That just got opened up for Stripe and PayPal. Sweet. All right. Okay. Justin, when are you planning on upgrading your puzzle course? Um, that is an excellent question. The short answer is like a month ago. It okay, so not to get in too much detail about it, but um I have currently as a matter of fact, I've got the little notes right here, but um everything's done as far as the puzzles are concerned. Um, but what I'm doing is I'm changing the site that it's located on. Right now it's located on Thinkific, and I'm changing that to um, a a different place that's being designed specifically for this course. So um, that's what's taking a little bit longer. Should, unfortunately, it's completely out of my hands. That's the frustrating part. Is everything that I can do is already done, um, and so it's completely out of my hands. But the good news is it's going to be a lot more content. Um, Currently, there are, I got it somewhere. Currently, there are uh, a total of, I don't know, like 14 or 15 puzzles slash game types. Okay. When this launches, when the update goes out, there will be 15 puzzle types, 12 game types, plus the custom games that I show you how to make, that are special, specific to your niche and that kind of stuff, as well as all the other content that was already in there. Um, so I'm basically going real hard and heavy on the puzzles, added puzzles in, and that's what I'm adding to the course. Um, so I'm adding, I don't know, probably good 11 or 12. Some I've already added in there. Like reverse word searches I've already added in there. I think campsites have already been added in, but and then you've got Hashiwaka carols and all the other ones. But yeah, I'm adding, like I said, about 11, 11 or 12 different brand new puzzles. So it's going to be a big addition, making it just that much better in my humble opinion. Um, But again, unfortunately, right now it's out of my hands. The goal is to still have it launch um, before the end of the year. That's like the deadline that I gave them. Um, the original deadline was Black Friday, but we see that that didn't happen. Just because of uh, you know family emergencies and that kind of stuff that are out of both of our hands. So, great question. What's going to come along with it? I assume since you're asking about this, you probably already have the course. Um, and so all of this is going to come at no additional cost to you. Um, when I launch it, I am okay. So I completely dislike uh, ClickFunnels, um, and so I've made it a point to not do that at all. I'd love your feedback on what you think of ClickFunnels. Just be honest. As a consumer, I don't like them. That said, I do like the idea that um, I can offer. I had a lot of people come up to me and ask me for like coupon codes and stuff like that, and I don't have that. I don't do that. Um, and because of that, I like the idea of lowering that barrier of entry. So I'm contemplating doing kind of a ClickFunnel-ish thing where you can start out with just maybe puzzles and for obviously a lower price. And then, I mean, it's not going to be like these 20 or 30 different, you know, clicks that you have to do. So it would be at most three. So my thought is we'll have the initial one where it's just, like a starter kit. It's the four puzzles and a couple other videos and that's it. And then the next one would be the full puzzles and and then let me know if you lost me because it just froze up on my side. But anyway, so the second one would be the full thing of puzzles, and then the full package would be the puzzles and activity and games and stuff like that that I have in there as well. So even though I don't like ClickFunnels, I do like the idea of being able to give people more variety in what they want so they can tailor it better to what their business needs are. So, again, that's not cast in stone. It's just an idea I had. Let me know what you think of it. And if you don't want to tell me here in the chat, you can email me at kwheelerbooks@gmail.com and just tell me honestly what you think of that idea. Or I can just keep it at one price and everybody pays, and get it's everything. All right. See what else we've got. Okay. Justin says, "You would you recommend that we sell digital files from our website via a third party like Gumroad? Why not? It doesn't hurt to have another stream of income. We don't want to leave it all to Amazon. We don't want to keep all our eggs in their basket. We're playing in their sandbox. And any day and time, they can just say, you know what? They can change the game and say, all right, I don't want you here anymore. Um, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to good people who aren't doing anything wrong. It can just be a misunderstanding or anything like that, and that's all it takes, and you're done. It doesn't make. I mean, recently, and I'm not going to get into this too much, but recently there was a very successful um, uh, brand that was doing using KDP and making six figures, and you know they kind of pushed the boundaries and had their entire account shut down. So in the snap of a finger, it was all gone for them. So absolutely try to put don't spread yourself out too thin to where you can't handle it, because I mean it is extra work, but yeah, absolutely. And the best thing is whenever you do something on your website, you're doing two things. One is they're going to your website, so you're making them your customer, not Amazon's customer. Second of all is you're giving yourself the best possible profit margin that you can. So yeah, I would say I mean, I would, depending on the time that you have available, I wouldn't just limit it to the digital versions. Sell your hardcovers, sell your paperbacks. Um, you know, I know people who literally, I mean, if you're using Lulu, you can just link it directly through Lulu, and where people can go to your website, place the order, and Lulu takes care of it. KDP is a little bit harder, but someone can still go to your website. I know people who do that, and then they place an order, and later on that afternoon, the person will go in, and the author will go in and place an order on KDP and sell it as order an author copy, and then they just put in the address of the person that purchased it as opposed to their own address, and that way they get the higher profit margin. Okay, John asks, "What does your puzzle course cover?" Real quick again, because I don't want this to be a huge sales pitch on on my course, but um, my puzzle book course, I teach people how to make unique puzzle pages uh, using PowerPoint. So if you've watched any of my videos, I've got plenty of them where I do tutorials on low content books, no content, where you go over my shoulder and I show you in PowerPoint how I make them. I also have some on the channel where I show you how to make puzzle pages, like word searches, for example. Um, this is just that next step. This is basically, if you like that teaching method, then you'll like my course, because that's literally what I do in the course. The difference is that the puzzles in the course are less competitive, less well known, but still profitable. In order to be included in my course, it had to be something that I can create myself. That I had done research on, and more importantly, ones that have actually sold for me. Now, when I say that, I don't mean I have an entire book of Hashiwaka Karos, for example. But the books that I have that have Hashiwaka Karos in them are doing well. I've gotten reviews where people actually call out. Maybe they may not say Hashiwaka Karo because they may not remember what it was called, but they call out the unique puzzle types that are in there. Um, and then the other thing is that they couldn't have been available in any paid software that I found. Now, if there's some obscure paid software that I didn't know about, then yeah, they might be there. But yeah, so and then I have videos where I show you how to make your puzzle books more profitable, things to put on your puzzle book cover, and then the game. It also includes paper pencil games. That's really good for making activity books for long car rides when there's two people and things like that. So that's all included in the course. Okay. John says I got off the exclusive Amazon bit almost immediately because I use Smashwords, Lulu, and other publishers. Great idea. Going wide. Really, again, not putting all your eggs in one basket. Very smart, John. All right, Jacqueline. Glad to have you here. Glad I was able to answer your question. Have a wonderful day. Okay. John says I've used coupon codes for Smashwords to provide ARC copies. Um, Good idea. Good idea. I'll be honest. I There's a reason why you haven't seen Smashwords videos on my channel. I've never used them. I've never used Smashword. I've heard some horror stories about um their upload system. And so it kind of just scared me off. But I very well might look into them in the very near future. 2022's got a lot of new things for me that I plan on doing. So really excited. It says I put links on my website to Amazon and other companies, so I still get customer uh, who prefer Amazon. Yeah. Um, Now I don't know if you're doing this, John. That's a great idea, but if you'd like to make a little bit more, is make sure that you're using um, an Amazon. is it Amazon Associates, I think it's called. Basically, it's their affiliate program, and you can actually go in and include a link that you'll get like an extra 1 or 2%. But the good thing is you may think, well, it's just a digital copy, so it's only 2.99, or paperback, it's only 7.99 or whatever. But that the pixel that stays on there in their cache is there for 24 hours, which means that any purchase they make from clicking on your link for the next 24 hours, you're going to get whatever that percentage is. And it's a different percentage depending on what it is. So the percentages on a book is going to be lower than the percentages on, if someone buys a big screen TV. So it's just a way to, and Amazon, it's completely in the up and up. Matter of fact, it's in one of KDP's suggestions on things to do when promoting is to use that link. Uh, be- so it doesn't cost your consumer anymore, but you absolutely will. You got the potential of getting, a much bigger profit from it. Like I said, whether it's just from your book or from other things that they might purchase, either in addition to your book or later on that day, or, early the next day or whatever. So definitely want to um, increase your chances of getting more profits. So that's something I would definitely suggest if you're not doing that. But yeah, I've got many of my books, all my books that are under my name are on my website, and they all are using the Amazon Associates link. Okay, John says, I get some sales through Smashwords from Apple Books and Barnes and Noble. Great. All right. So if there are no more questions, I know, as happens, I went longer than I expected because we just got a bunch of really, really great questions. And the funny thing is within reason, we all stayed on topic. Um, I was expecting, at least a couple, what's your favorite color kind of questions, but which, by the way, favorite color is red. Um, but yeah, so this is going to be the last live Q&A of 2021. Um, if you enjoy these, which it seems like people are, I will definitely consider doing them again next year. But yeah, this will be the last one for 2021. I hope everybody has an amazing the rest of their year, Q4. Um, let's see, we've got one more question. Um, let's see. I find uploading on Lulu is a bit more tiresome compared to KDP. Not sure if other authors have the same issues uploading on Lulu. No, absolutely. Whenever somebody starts in publishing and self-publishing, I always suggest that they go to KDP. KDP is the first of all, you're going directly to Amazon. And Amazon's just a big monster when it comes to the amount of sales that come through there, and the amount, just the sheer volume of people that go to Amazon to buy. So from that, you got the much better chance of positive results and getting sales when you start with KDP. But more importantly, it's just, to me, it's the most intuitive. Although Lulu's new site is much better than what it was. Um, they do have features that I absolutely love over KDP's. I love the fact that when you're doing the price, instead of putting a price point in there, you can hit that drop down and you can actually say what you want your profit margin to be, and it'll adjust your price point accordingly. I do wish, and Lulu, if you're listening, I do wish that they had one additional option, maybe just a checkbox, to where you can have it so it would round to the nearest, 95, 97, some 99, something like that. Because if you do set it, let's say you want a $3 royalty on it, it'll do that, but the price point that it sets it at is most likely going to be an obscure price point. So it would be nice if there was a checkbox that you could just literally click that in addition to setting your royalty uh, that you want to make, where it would first do the royalties, make sure you're making at least that amount, and then increase it until it got to that 99 cents or 97 or whatever. So, Lulu, if you're listening, that'd be a great feature to add on. But yeah, that's it. That's definitely something that I do like uh, about Lulu. But yeah, it's definitely more more tiresome, in your words, than something like KDP. KDP's got 3 tabs, and and it just flows so nicely. Um, it's when you get error messages, um, it's a lot easier to kind of troubleshoot. The verbiage that they use is pretty clear, um, and there's just so much more information out there about KDP. And I think that's a big thing about it too, is if you don't know what this error message means, you can send a message to KDP support, but you could also probably just go to YouTube or Google or whatever and search it up and probably get your answers already. And there's just not as much content, um, from people who are using it, like myself. There's not as much content for newbies to kind of learn from with Lulu as there is on KDP. So it's just there's more of a barrier of entry. Just a lot more open um, to translations that people just there's not enough information out there for you to know right away what that means, and so it can be um, a lot more frustrating. So that's why I always suggest people start out with KDP. And after you get your first book or two under your belt, then yeah, stretch out, go out to Lulu and maybe Barnes and Noble and places like that. Ingram Spark is great. So um yeah, no, I thought Amazon did not allow associate links for your own products. No, absolutely. You can, like I said, KDP, it's in when you go to KDP and if you go into their knowledge base and you search up like marketing ideas, that's one of the first ones that they have listed, is to use the associate links, your the affiliate basically affiliate links from Amazon to your book. So yeah, just it's absolutely white hat. There's nothing shady about it. All right. It looks like we are all out of questions, and I'm just about all out of time because I got to go back to the day job. Um, so if you like this, if you like the Q&A, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend or two that you think would find it helpful. It really helps Amazon, no, not Amazon. It really helps YouTube know that my content is good quality and that people are getting help from it. And so then YouTube sends it out, shares it with other people. And then we just get a much bigger community of people helping each other. So again, I hope I answered all your questions. If any more questions come up, make sure that you just throw them down in the comments. I check them daily, and I answer each and every one of them. So until then, I'm Keith Wheeler, and remember,